afternoon. So, it was a little bit of madness getting started. I was trying to... I had like 10 minutes in the run-up of this. I'm like, oh, okay, that's a good amount of time. I'm gonna update my stream info. Huh. I'm gonna update my stream. Why is it not working? Try it again. Try to reformat. Try different ways. Close the program. Reopen the program. Try it again. Ugh. So, that ran me all the way up till now. But that's okay. So, hello. Today, the microphone is actually, sorry. It's a shadow to my microphone. It's popping in the picture there. Hopefully, y'all can still hear me. And I didn't just make some audio nightmare at the beginning of the show. Hello! Beginning of the stuff! Oh, audio nightmare! Man. I'm currently looking for my... Oh, you are dried out. So, when you only have a little bit in these things, these will dry out. Because there's just more air inside the container than there is paint. I gotta use that one. To be missing an entire thing of the green, because I got the OG, and I got the soupy, the second soupy that I made, which is just that. But I am not seeing my other container of green. Which mean only one thing. At some point, my cat hockey pucked it off of my desk. Fantastic. Well, unexpected loss of paint aside, well, we'll have to make do. It's not like we can't make more. Not like we can't make a whole heck of a bunch more. I was hoping it was under there, but it's not. Nor is it behind things. Well, that may make it a little bit more challenging for today, because as I was going over and kind of realizing, like, studying why this was now really working out for me, I realized it's because, sorry, my hands are really dirty from the paint. I need to be much more aggressive with moving things into the background on this side. So, and specifically, this branch here. A couple things are wrong with this branch. One, it's too thick, and I don't like that it's in the foreground. I actually feel like it really should be moving backwards. So what we're going to do is we are going to do two things. We're going to try and change the orientation of the branch at the actual joint and make it coming from underneath as if it's coming from the bottom. Therefore, I can reduce everything back. And then I want to reduce so much more on this side. Push everything back really, really far so that I only have a very few of the things coming out in the foreground. Because I think that's what makes this work. And I've made mention of this on other artist streams that I've watched. There's an artist that I watch, whose name is escaping me at the moment, but she does these fantastic hyper-realistic drawings, photographs that she takes of herself. And her key is her overwhelming use of midtone. I have a tendency to see things in very saturated colors. It's just the way my eyes work. My eyes are very attuned to color. So like when I'm looking at something, I will see that, oh, well, maybe that actually is darker than it's appearing to me, or maybe it's more muted, but for some reason my eyes will just pick up the color and just blast it out. So even when I'm seeing midtone, I'm seeing a lot of rich color in the midtone. And I try to reproduce that, and then it just doesn't look right. Because I'm not reproducing it accurately. Hold on 1 second. Be right back, folks. As soon as I sit down to paint, got a knock on my door, but it's just someone coming to inspect the outside of my house, so they don't need me. So, yeah, cool. I'm back. Hello. Okay. So I was just explaining that my plan today, I'm just pulling out brushes right now from my receptacle. That's my other dark color paint. Yeah, I just have no idea where this paint is. I'm sure I'll find it like 10 minutes after my stream ends. So, that is the way. Anyway, I'm gonna push back a bunch of stuff on the left side here so that there's much more mid-tone. Clear out a lot of the stuff that's still very much in the foreground. So much of this is gonna get pushed back. So I'm gonna be really aggressive, much more aggressive than I've been so far. Which is kind of why I'm disappointed that my paint has gone missing. Because it is exactly the color that I need to use today. But again, I have the original. If we need it, I'll take some time and mix up some more. I actually think I do. I have yesterday's mix still wet in the tray. Awesome. Because I keep my tray with a little sponge, a wet sponge overnight while I'm still painting, in the hopes that, like what's happened, where my shadow and my green have stayed saturated overnight. Yay! There's that at least. And we'll see how far we can go with this green before I have to mix up more. There's still quite a bit in this little tray. It doesn't look like much, but for what I use it for, and there's actually some on the cap as well, and how much transparency I put in it. Oh, and I get to use the fan brush. Boop, boop. All right, I'm gonna turn the music up. I'm gonna mute my mic. I'm gonna start painting. If that's too loud, let me know and I'll turn it down. I'm also going to do my thing where I kind of go in different places throughout as I'm working. It helps me keep my eyes focused because a lot of times when I'm looking at these tiny little hash marks, my eyes will start to wiggle. And not in a good way. See, already, that's looking much better. Just pushing that back farther. Same thing up here. That's looking better. Let's be aggressive. Just do it more. Everywhere. So what I'm trying to do right now is, and the reason I'm being like kind of, some parts I'll like scrumble the color out, and other parts I will very carefully place this color. Because I'm using a transparency, I'm using it in layers over and over and over and over. The more I paint in one area, the darker that area becomes until it gets to be that final back coating. when I'm cutting in, like for example right here, when I'm cutting in close over and over again in the same area, what I'm doing is I'm just laying on the color to have the color itself define the edge. So with this polyp, for example, I know there's a space behind it. And so I'm kind of just layering this on to push that area back so it becomes a defined line. And that way too, it also helps the movement of the other arms back into the same space. But at the same time, knowing that I'm putting colors on in transparent layers means that anything I put down, if I put something on top of it, it's going to darken it. So I always try to start at the very ends of the branches of the tentacles, because they're going to be the farthest away, because they have the most motion. At least in certain positions. Some of them, like, for example, this polyp here, because I'm going to start working on this one. The inside of it is the darkest part, because the branches are kind of going zip and curling back in on themselves. And I did stop during my late night stream. I was using, I'm going to go over the whole thing so that pushes the whole thing back, but I want to add more to the inside. I was using this darker shadow. I didn't really like it. The green just works better for the overall painting as it is, so I'm going to stick with the green for all shadows. It's working well at the moment, so I like it. All of these have to be pushed back. I have to be aggressive. To be aggressive with my pushing back of all of these things, because it's very easy to bring them back up. It's harder to work with all of them at the brightest. So even if I overcorrect and push too much back, I can bring things back up. And I'm kind of trying to be mindful, which is why I am leaving some of the idea, since there's no actual real light, right? All of the lighting is manufactured by me, and I've decided that the light's coming from this direction. So the light is coming down from here. But I don't think it's coming down in one straight shot. Well, it can't, obviously. It's got to go through things. So I'm kind of trying to get the impression of shafts of light moving through the branches from one light source, or at least a grouping of light sources in one area. When this animal, because all of this is an animal, none of this are plants. When this animal was originally imaged, which was done by the Okeanos Explorer, NOAA's exploratory ship, and they have 2 ROVs that go down and image places that have never been seen before, so they'll map it first, and then they'll go through and broadcast live on the web. And so what I do is I watch their streams, I see what animals they find, because I have the idea that so many of these explorers do such great work, but nobody knows that these animals are down there. And that they look like this, or at least an approximation of this. That they're colorful and abundant and vibrant, and they're alive. And they all live at very, very deep depths. So they go down there, and I'll watch their streams for, hours and hours and hours. And whenever they come across a new species that I like, I'll take a whole bunch of screen grabs of the animal, and then I do research on the animal if they have any sort of relatives that we know more about, because, again, all of these animals are being imaged for the first time. So what we know of them are just of what we know of existing species that are related. So, for example, this one's a Paragorgia, which is an octocoral, so it has 8 arms on each polyp, which is why it's an octo. Octo is 8. It was imaged originally in the Gully Canyon at about 1,500 meters depth. Well beyond the limit of natural light. It may be... What's the word I'm looking for? Bioluminescent. 80% of benthic life on the seafloor at these depths are bioluminescent. But we just don't know because we don't really have that much ability to catch it. Bioluminescence is such a... It's very faint to see. And the ROVs are equipped to cast as much light onto their subjects as possible so that our eyes can kind of figure out what we're looking at. So the screen grabs I have of this particular animal are just completely bleached out because it's light on all sides. There's no shadows. There's no definition. There's practically no color. So what I did was I grabbed a bunch of screen caps, about 7 of them, to at least get an idea for how I want the structure to lay out. Because obviously when they're taking a picture of it, it's either really close in or it's far away, or it doesn't... I think the picture of this, they actually did take a picture of this particular subject on their website, but the picture itself is maybe, I think, like right here, just this square in the middle. And so when I was watching the stream live, I'm taking grabs as they're like zooming in to take pictures for themselves. I'm hitting the paste and then going over to my Photoshop program and copying it into a new layer, and then going back and grabbing another thing, copying it into a new layer, so I can get the entire thing and kind of lay it out the way I want to. I did make changes, like obviously I'm making a lot of changes to it right now to how it originally looked. But once I have an idea of what I'm going to paint, like this Paragorgia, when I'm researching it, what I also need to look for is how deep is this color, right? When they're imaging it, they're flooding it with light. So everything is so bleached out so that like my reference photos are all, everything looks almost white. But as they were moving like away, you could see it in the off light. And in the off light, where it was not a flood of light, where you get that definition of shadow, where you can see the water depth, it allowed the saturation of the color to come out. And so I have color references of this that are not at all like you, and look completely different, but it shows you where like the polyps are red right at their base. Now, I've exaggerated the red in their mouths and on the branches because I like that. And it was harder to get the impression. It's very pink, like a very, very pale pink, until the mouth has these very defined red markings that go into the mouth itself. So, and from what I could tell, it looked like the red kind of bleeds out, almost as if there's a marking there. But it's very hard to tell on camera, and there's not any other images of an octocoral like this to let me know. So I played with that, made their mouths, or made the red inside more apparent. Made their structure a little bit more solidified. And then I had to find different reference photos for the snake stars so that so that I could correctly put in all of the detail that I then painted over with the prompts. But I do like the geometrics of the snake stars. I still have to move this join. And then this too light. This needs to be pushed back. This needs to be pushed back. This is looking better. Starting to tie together. I'm gonna turn the music back up again and mute myself. So I can paint. Had to grab more paint. And I was able to get just as much as I took the last time, also little. So, conserving that paint. Okay, I'm going to walk away for about 5 minutes. Go to the restroom, get something else to drink. Not look at this for 5 minutes so that I can come back and look at it fresh. More work needs to be done here, too bright. Here, too bright. And then I just have to neaten up. Ooh, that's still wet. Neaten up back there. You can kind of see here where the background looks darker. It's actually because the slow dry has a gloss effect. So once the actual coral is finished, the very last thing that I'm gonna do is go through the background very tediously and probably off stream. Make sure that the whole background is even everywhere, and then apply the top coat, which will be the gloss, which is just literally a transparent gloss. Once that transparent gloss is on there, that is not going to be able to, you won't be able to see that. It's just because the rest of it's matte, so you're getting a shine, essentially. And if I kind of lift it up where you can, yeah. It stops being a different color. But it also throws it off from my eyes as well, because I see the gloss as a darker color on the canvas as well. So I like keep second guessing myself, and then I have to like look this way and look that way and try and change the angle. So yeah, all right, walking away. I'll be back in 5 minutes. I return. Let's turn the music down a little bit before I speak. Because I have no idea what the volume is between my mic and music. So better safe than sorry. If I look at the little visual audio bounce that I have on my little Twitch studio, I can see that my microphone comes through louder than the music. So that's kind of how I gauge it. You can't hear it, but my cat is playing with a cat toy in the background. My cat is not taking daylight savings times well. He never does. It's been 8 years and he can't figure it out yet. Might be 9. I'm not really sure. But he was harassing me earlier, wanting food. But it is too early for dinner. I keep glancing every time he pushes this ball that he's playing with around to see if the microphone's picking it up, but it's not so far. Although the microphone picked it up a little bit that time. Because he's right underfoot. No, he wants me to play soccer. It is not time for soccer. There, I kicked it away. I've kicked it away. Go play. Background cat ASMR. He has many funny mannerisms, my cat. And I'm going to talk about it for a moment because he's making me pay attention to him, at least. Sort of. I'm not giving in. I'm going to play with them. He does have lots of quirky mannerisms. When it's nearing time to eat, he does this thing with his mouth. Like when I look at him and he'll like meow for food. When I look at him, he won't meow again. He will instead open and close his mouth several times like he's chewing. But there's nothing that he's chewing on, of course. That's kind of him going, I would like this to contain food and for this action to have a purpose. But when he gets mad too, he'll go and hide in the bathtub and stare at the back wall of the bathtub. It's his little tantrum place. Although he hasn't been doing that lately because I put a stool just to store it when I'm not using the shower. I just put a stool in the shower in the back. And now it's kind of like where he would sit to go and get mad. He is the type of cat that'll start reminding you that it's getting close to dinner about a half an hour prior to dinner. So now it's about an hour and a half prior to dinner. He's like, hey, it's dinner time. Nope. I have to deal with daylight savings time. So do you. But then he gets a pleasant surprise in the spring. And his food magically starts coming earlier again. I am leaving this one a little blank because that is the mouth and I forgot to put red. So I have to go back in and put red there. I don't want to touch it. And then I'll see it easier. And go, hey, what's wrong with that? And then remember, oh, I have to put red there. But I'm not going to get the red at this session, so I'm avoiding it. actually am gonna wrap it up in 3 hours today. Because one, I've got to mix up more green paint or find where my cat has skittered off my actual green paint well, which I still haven't found. So I need that. That's kind of imperative for the rest of the painting. Yeah. So it doesn't show up on camera, but I'm looking at it close up, of course. Like my face is right here. So I have a slightly different perspective on it. I'm also looking at it at an angle so that it's kind of more straight onto the camera. But also if I try to move it too far back, I get the glare. Working at the angle and keeping it where the camera can see it keeps the glare kind of with the camera, so I apologize for that, but I need to see what I'm working on. And I can see, well, glitter. Tiny piece of glitter on the canvas. In the areas that I've darkened and pushed back, this is definitely looking a lot better. So this branch, I'm still not overall too happy with this branch, but it is looking 100 times better than it was at the beginning. I am still probably going to switch the orientation of this node to where it's coming from the underside so that it makes a little bit more sense being this dark and below. Because again, if the light source is kind of coming from this direction, from the upper right, down across the picture, this is going to be the darkest quadrant. So in light of that, I also don't think I've pushed this part back far enough. And what I may do I may actually try and mix up this darkest pigment of like dark green, and that's just slightly lighter than the background where I'm doing that overlay, and then go over the roughest parts, because there are parts in here where, like, see how on this side where the camera's glare is kind of picking everything up here, it looks a little fluffier. And I think it's just because a lot of these lines over here are a little bit more defined, because I had gotten a better brush for this side of the painting. That happens when it takes a while. So what I may do is I may actually go through, mix up and color match that background and clean up those most back lines with that color. But I'm going to test it out on probably this area down here first, because one, I haven't gone over this a lot, so this has the lightest amount of paint on it. Sorry, you're going to hear me rubbing the canvas probably more than me talking because the microphone's right next to it. And because this is also pretty prominent in front, and it was messy to begin with, so clean up those lines. As far as the light coming through, I kind of like the idea of a little bit light coming through here, so there's like a shaft coming this way. There's a little shaft over here in this direction, so kind of catching the back of the sea star, and the curve. This, I'm imagining it's coming across it like there's a shaft this way. So we're catching here. So I need to darken this area here. So this part, I need to push back farther. Yeah, I definitely need to push this part back a lot farther. So that'll be the next stream. And oh, I gotta add his little mouth. So to add his mouth, so next stream, we will clean up the background fronds, the background polyps. I keep just calling them fronds. and then go through and just do touch up. And then once the touch up is done, then it's just background cleaning and it's pretty much good. I just want to get the light more normalized, so there may be some fussing. I may do some stuff off stream, just because at that point it's a lot of times when I get to this stage, what ends up happening is I will like do 2 tiny little brush strokes and then I'll stare at it for like 10 minutes. And honestly, you're watching paint dry on stream as it is, which is not that exciting, but that is even less exciting because I do tend to take that long to like figure out, okay, what am I looking at? I have to squint. I try to like squint my eyes and make everything blurry so that things pop out in like a general sense, so I get a better sense of balance. Like if I do that right now, the balance actually the balance is looking really nice at the moment. When I squint, I'm drawn to a movement that kind of goes this way. So it's like, oh, sorry, I'm hitting the mic. Yaw. So up and down and up and down. So I kind of do want that swirly movement across the plane. I don't want anything centered or focused in one area. So this is looking better because I pushed it back, but I definitely have to clean this up, and then I have to define where some of these areas are so that the light shafts come through a little bit more, remembering that this is going to be my darkest section. Yeah, I had to push them back a heck of a lot more. All right, so maybe next stream I'll be pushing them back even further once I find my paint. So, yeah. We still did good work today. I swallowed my fear and just went hog on pushing back stuff. And it's still not enough, but it's the direction that I wanted to go. So that's kind of where I was stuck on. Was just like how to fix this to make it look like that. Because this I'm liking a lot better. So, we'll push it back even more. I may even define the areas of light. Oh, that's an idea. I may actually take painter's tape. Sorry, my cat's scratching on cardboard. And define the light areas just to give me some definition. Or even block them out. We'll think about it. Maybe I'll drop it into Photoshop and see. So that was it. That's 3 hours on the button. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you next time. I will probably stream again. Well, I'll definitely stream again on Monday. Monday's a set day for me. I always stream then. That's usually my longest day for streaming. I sometimes will stream very late Sunday night as well. And what I mean by that is, like, I'll start streaming at, like, 11 o'clock, and then I may run until 2, 3, 4 in the morning. So, haven't done 4 in the morning yet on Sunday, but got close a couple weeks ago. We'll see. I also have a commission that I have to work on, which is coming along very well. I got the bones in on the practice one, which laid out so nicely that my practice one may actually become my actual commission. We'll see how it inks. And then once this is finished, I did get solvent for my oil paints so that I can finish off the next layer of the oil painting that I'm working on, and that actually is the last layer of the oil painting that I'm working on. So I'll do that on stream, but again, you're coming into the picture, like, on that picture, it's almost completely finished because I started work on that a while back. Because that is a many layered oil painting that I started about 2 years ago. But this will be the final layer of this oil painting that I've been working on, which is an original astronomy painting. Well, they're all original, but, you know. No reference photos, in other words. Like, I'm not referencing anything realistic. I literally just came up with a concept in my head and went, I wonder how this would look. And it has a lot of color to it, so again. All right, I'm babbling, which I tend to do. Have a great night. Enjoy your weekend. I'll see you on Monday, possibly Sunday, but thank you for watching. Love you. Bye.